Hey everybody, I'm Nikki. Thanks for watching Backyard Politics. There's a reason why we say fuck the police. So after peaceful protests here in Salem, like I showed you guys on the last video, there was some shit that hit the fan with the Salem Police Department. So here we go. The Salem Reporter put out an article and they say, it's over here, I'll read it to you. Anger surged across social media platforms Wednesday as a video capturing a Salem police officer's conversation with armed civilians circulated widely. Late Wednesday night, Salem Police Chief Jerry Moore issued a video statement explaining why police treat curfew violators differently. So, here we go. Salem police are being accused of favoring armed individuals standing outside of a downtown salon while applying a heavy hand to protesters to enforce the city's curfew. As volatile demonstrations across the country have broken out in response to the police killing of Minneapolis man George Floyd, the city of Salem has enacted curfews to prevent rioting and other disturbances. After 3 nights of curfews beginning Saturday, the city extended its ban on people being out at night in public through Sunday next week. Police have the discretion to enforce the curfew and have allowed protests to proceed. They have subsequently arrested protesters and otherwise acted to disperse demonstrators who remained downtown after events ended, typically late at night. A video that surfaced online on Wednesday has raised concerns that police only enforced the curfew to those protesting police brutality. Quote, "You can see why black people and other minority groups feel that nothing is going to change," said Brittany Sims of Salem, who has participated in protests. Police Chief Jerry Moore late Wednesday night said his agency's response to curfew violators would vary, but without favoritism or bias. He made a statement in a video posted on social media after his agency said earlier in the day that it would respond to an interview request from Salem Reporter. During Monday night's protests, Joe Smothers posted a Facebook live video recording the demonstration. After leaving the protest, Smothers went to Glamour Salon, located at 195 Liberty Street Northeast in downtown. Smothers didn't respond to requests for comment Wednesday. Glamour Salon has drawn headlines after its owner, Lindsey Graham, reopened in May, defying state orders closing salons, barbershops, and other businesses in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Graham has attracted supporters as well as critics. I actually have called her out specifically and all those thugs that she's hanging out with. And yes, I use the term thugs because they're white supremacist fucking asswipes. So I've actually called her out specifically on previous videos of mine. Once protests began last week that started at the Capitol, individuals armed with military-style rifles and body armor have stood outside of Glamour Salon. Reports on social media and elsewhere have emerged that armed individuals have stood sentry outside of the salon even after the curfew went into effect. The video shows an unidentified police officer telling individuals outside the salon that police would begin enforcing the curfew. The officer told them that he had been instructed to, quote, request that the individuals go inside a business or sit in their vehicles so, quote, we don't look like we're playing favorites. This video by Joe Smothers captures events on Monday, June 1st. His recording from outside the Glamour Salon begins about 2:50 mark of the video. So I'm going to show you this. This is the same night that I was there. In fact,
simply because they are black. Recent violence in our community is not the answer. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King,
this is the video that I showed you guys of the police officer that knelt and honestly, the two officers that were there seemed emotional, and I could almost guarantee you that those two volunteered to do this, but it doesn't discount the fact that the entire department stinks. So, 1 minute. Everybody stands up. That's me right there. So it's the same night, okay? Now let's go to the 250 mark.
So sorry for the live video ending. My phone crashed.
Started a little bit earlier.
We got 5 guys up there.
Just to let everyone know, I got updates. Antifa said they were going to residential before their Twitter was suspended.
Hey, they're hungry up there. That's what they want to run her for.
I know 2 days ago they were saying that they were going to take over the new police station, and so I was a little worried. I mean, I get that they did a candlelight vigil there.
Yeah.
But
They put up a barrier and wouldn't let them fully near it.
yeah.
That wasn't Antifa, for the record. That was the protesters that put the vigil together.
The police let them do the
Well, you
vigil.
know how well Antifa listens to barriers.
What the cop summarized and the guy you guys couldn't hear is they want kind of the, how would you say it, the presence to be indoors.
Yeah.
So Antifa doesn't say that they're out there, we could be out there.
I'm going to say.
Every time they say Antifa, they're talking about the protesters. I was in that crowd. Antifa is anybody that's anti-fascist. There's no head of it. There's no meetings. There's nothing like that. Antifa is anyone who is anti-fascist. These people are fucking morons. Like,
Cigarettes.
Yes, for pizza. They're keeping, they want to run around the roof just to keep an eye out in the 360 view of all the shops down here. So if something does happen, they can contact and let people know. Because this is a parking garage up here, and they do have police and people up there. Oh, I'm good. I got General Tso's chicken at home and everything. Don't want to spoil my appetite. Residential will be housing people where people live at, so if you guys see any more of that, can you let us know? I'd be grateful.
these guys are running around thinking that they're cops.
Antifa was putting out on Twitter they're going to residential.
Did you get the lowdown from the PD?
Marco.
I don't know.
No, I just shared. Did you hear my little? No, I didn't. So I just put the word. So we're going to really enforce the citywide curfew shutdown, so we can arrest anybody who's walking around. Okay. My command wanted me to come talk to you guys and request that you guys secrete either inside the city or in your vehicle somewhere where it's not a violation of that ordinance, so we don't look like we're playing favorites. Gotcha. We can go interior. That would be unhealthy. Is it okay? Would you consider?
Hear where the emphasis is in his sentences, okay? Seriously, listen to that.
Because this is a parking garage up here, and they do have police and people up there. Oh, I'm good. I got General Tso's chicken at home and everything. Don't want to spoil my appetite. Residential will be housing people where people live at, so if you guys see any more of that, can you let us know? I'd be grateful. Antifa was putting out on Twitter they're going to residential.
you get the lowdown from the PD?
Yeah, we're just
I don't know.
Really listen to the emphasis on his words.
So we're going to really enforce the citywide curfew shutdown so we can arrest anybody who's walking around. Okay. My command wanted me to come talk to you guys and request.
My command was to come and talk to you guys and request
That you guys secrete either inside the businesses or in your vehicles somewhere where it's not a violation. I don't think so we don't look like
so we don't look like
playing favorites.
we're playing favorites.
That would be unhealthy. Would you consider the other levels? The law is pretty clear. If you're walking around the sidewalks, it's a violation. Okay. If you're not walking around the sidewalks and you're in your vehicle or you're in a business or something like that, it is not a violation.
But if we're in the parking,
That's bullshit.
in the vehicle, that's...
I'm homeless. Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean,
That's bullshit, and I'll tell you why in a minute.
there's some semantics in there that are a little difficult for me. We just want to go all our integrity. We can't show favorites to anybody. Yeah, it's not on the side, can't be on the sidewalk. Basically, businesses or any vehicles maybe not so visible, that kind of thing. And then we're gonna have a heavy presence down here.
Tanya, can you send me those screenshots so I can show that off
The last 2 nights from escalating, so which does not involve you guys at all. I recognize that.
The night went really well. I started.
Which does not involve you guys at all that are carrying around fucking AR-15s that are fully loaded. Mind you, they're loaded. Walking around downtown Salem. Are you fucking kidding me? Calling to arms all the people that you know so that approximately 83 people show up with fucking guns to a protest? The First Amendment was put in place before the Second Amendment for a fucking reason.
Up there watching everything. Come on down. It looked like everything was go good.
Yeah, we just need them off the sidewalks and either in the business. They're in their cars.
Okay, somebody run the word up to those teams there.
You guys just spread that. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
The group that's following me, they just informed me that Twitter's Antifa's Twitter presence, they said they're going to be hitting residential.
Yeah, we've got that feed too.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll get that information.
They said mainly white privilege residential.
We have a violation of our First Amendment rights by not being able to protest. We have martial law in place so that the curfew is in place so that people can't, again, use their First Amendment right and protest. We have Second Amendment assholes walking around here acting like they're cops. The whole reason they armed themselves in the first place, their argument is for when the government comes for us. Guess what, bitches? The government's here for us. And then we've got law enforcement using fucking tear gas on the protesters, which is a violation of the Geneva Convention. Are you fucking kidding me? Since the 1920s, this is a war crime. So I want to read you the rest of the article, and then I have a few other things to show you. He said that they could also be in the city parking structure that housed the salon as well to avoid violating the curfew. The latest curfew order prohibits travel to on any public street, sidewalk, or other place between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. with exceptions such as people going to work, seeking medical care, and unsheltered individuals. None of them apply to that. The chief's video was published online at 10 p.m. Wednesday, several hours after his agency said Salem Reporter should expect a response to its request for comment. Let's see here. So all of this refers to the video that I'm going to play for you of Chief Jerry Moore's bullshit response. Eugene and Portland have also used curfews to manage protests, which have drawn criticism from civil rights groups for their potential to be enforced selectively. John Jones, an activist who helped organize Tuesday's demonstration, said that the curfew should be applied equally or not at all. Go figure, right? He said that the video shows that it's not and that it's not, and that police are more concerned about optics than equally enforcing the curfew. In particular, he took issue with the officer telling the people outside of the salon to sit in their cars rather than leave. He said that contrasts sharply with how protesters have seen the curfew enforced. They are playing favorites, and the officer, using that term, acknowledges they are aware of that. Jones said that around 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, Lieutenant Trevin Upkeys, who has been present at protests, calmly and respectfully told them that police would begin enforcing the curfew at 11 p.m., and that protesters needed to be completely gone by then or face arrest. By around 10:55 p.m., police in riot gear were on the scene despite the protests proceeding peacefully, said Jones. And it was peaceful. I was there, and then later there were other people that I knew were there. Plus, I was listening to the police scanner once I got home. So, Jones said that the way the protesters were treated compared to that of the armed individuals outside of the salon derails and diminishes recent efforts by Salem police to improve community relations. And this is Chief Jerry Moore from Salem Police Department addressing the situation.
Salem, I am Jerry Moore, your Chief of Police. I am addressing you today during a time of turmoil like this community has rarely seen. This community is hurting, like many others in our nation, and our job is to make you feel safe and secure. I've lived in this community all my life, and unfortunately, we are living in unprecedented times with many undesirable firsts for us. This is the first pandemic we have faced in my life. The first time the city of Salem has instituted a curfew. The first time Salem police officers had deployed gas in a crowd management environment in Salem. Many things weigh heavily on me
which again is illegal
today. The fact that we have had to respond to unlawful assemblies with force. That we have not been able to enhance the connections needed to resolve demonstrations peacefully. The fact that people feel that we are treating people unequally.
because they are.
A streaming video many of you have seen has resulted in phone calls and emails decrying the words which were spoken by one of our officers. The message we have received is a concern that we are treating people differently. For that I tell you, I am sorry. Sorry that there is even a thought that this department would treat some different than others. I know the officer involved. Like me, he has dedicated his life to this department and this community. The impact the interactions captured on the video had on our community has been discussed with the officer. Unfortunately,
Meaning, shut up, dude. Don't say shit. Don't you know you're being recorded?
he had not been fully briefed about enforcement of the curfew before he spoke with the group.
Which is bullshit because he said we're going to be implementing a curfew. He said it on fucking video. Personally, I have had a few interactions with Police Chief Jerry Moore, and on a personal level, super nice fucking guy. Awesome. Really, really nice guy. He's helped me out a time or two. I don't fucking care anymore. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. This is disgusting. I'm fucking pissed and I feel duped.
Moving forward, all officers tasked with enforcement of the curfew will be properly educated before deployment.
Meaning they'll be reminded that they're on film.
We police behaviors and situations, not individuals.
Oh, by the way, there's no fucking way that that guy didn't know what his duty was or what the call was at that moment. Excuse the creaks, my kids are upstairs. There's no fucking way, because that happened, and right after, like shortly after that, all of half of City of Salem-ish got text message alerts saying that there was going to be a curfew put in place. So, I'm sorry, that happened before all of this happened. I got the text at probably about 8:30 or 9 o'clock. It was probably about 9 o'clock. And I was like, what the hell? Did something happen after I left? You can check my Twitter feed. It's on there. I don't remember specifically what time. And then the guy said, okay, we're going to be implementing curfew, so you guys got to go home. They're trying to cover up their shit. Fuck the police.
Every situation is different, but is assessed methodically. Can we legally take action? What are the dangers to the public? What are the dangers?
Can they legally take action? What are the dangers to the public? How about fucking tear gas and rubber bullets, Jerry?
To the officer? What crimes are being committed? And can we safely de-escalate the situation?
The crimes being committed are they're walking around downtown Salem with fucking an armed militia that is fully loaded. Are you fucking kidding me?
Each event and person must be evaluated, and our responses are different based on the answers to those questions. We are lawfully bound to weigh the severity of the crime against the level of our response. Lawfully armed individuals violating a curfew does differ in severity from people throwing bricks and bottles during an otherwise peaceful demonstration.
Again, what about the people that are there with fully loaded AR-15s?
Such, our responses will vary accordingly, but without favoritism or bias.
Bullshit.
We understand the feelings of fear that large groups of people openly carrying firearms in our city can create. Though they gather under the guise of protecting the city, that is our responsibility, not theirs.
That's bullshit.
Our history has always been to assist and watch over lawful, peaceful demonstrations. We will continue to do that, be it open carry Second Amendment advocates or Black Lives Matter advocates.
Bullshit.
We just want people to obey the law and stay safe. In fact, we have recently and are currently meeting with the organizers to assist them on how to meet our mutual goal of peaceful demonstrations. As I said in a previous letter, we hear you. As a learning organization that values community, we are always listening and responding to needs and concerns. Thank you for your time.
Is everyone a goddamn fucking centrist these days? What the hell was that? Are you kidding me? I would rather, honestly, him say, yeah, you know what? We don't fucking care. Than him do this kind of bullshit. Give me a break. Moore acknowledged that in his statement Wednesday night, we have not been able to enhance connection. Okay, I already played that for you. Let's see here. So there was a woman that said, I felt very uncomfortable and concerned that the police officer told them to hide in their cars because they don't want to look like they're playing favorites. She said she was disturbed at the ease the police officer had talking to the people outside of the salon compared to the forceful response with protesters. It's not clear who the armed individuals who have been standing... What? It's not clear who are the armed individuals who have been standing outside the salon. That's kind of bullshit. She put out a fucking tweet. On Wednesday, Graham posted an emotional video on Facebook explaining that she found out that she'd become a target. She is the biggest fucking bullshitter, and she just wants... She's got a lot of money, and she wants to be famous now. That's all it is. She is so full of shit. You hear me, Lindsey Graham? You're a fucking bitch. You're a little bitch. Yeah, so the rest of this is just saying how fucking sorry she is, and she's not affiliated with the white supremacists, and that's bullshit because she's been very vocal about how she supports them. So I came across this in the Salem Resist page that I am a part of, and it says, some random thoughts and observations. After reading the Salem Reporter article, thank you Salem Reporter, regarding SPD, hang on, let me get to, there we go, regarding SPD's chief's explanation, in quotes, of differing treatment of armed civilians downtown during curfew. 1. Given the hour, none of the independent contractor stylists at Glamour Salon were present to need protecting, in quotes. So please do not buy Graham's line, particularly given her own posts about her fondness for white supremacists, just like I said. Number 2, the chief's whitewashing is insulting. He needs to do much better and be absolutely transparent about Officer Upkey's talking to and alleged insufficient briefing. Number 3, while it is illegal and a constitutional right for anyone to open carry in Oregon, Article 1, Section 27, It is restricted in Salem. Open carry of a loaded firearm is not allowed in Salem unless you are an LEO, military, have a concealed carry license, or are involved in flight safety. Salem Revised Code SRC 95.095. When it happens, it must be addressed contextually and even-handedly, which thus far we know is and has not happened. And the intent of the armed individuals should be openly and honestly acknowledged. Additionally, the right to use a gun to defend is limited to the defense of a person, not a business. I don't believe the SPD has addressed this adequately. When the chief is honest about the inequitable enforcement of the curfew, it will be a start on the road to improved relations and trust. And I totally agree with her, but just to make sure that she wasn't bullshitting me with each code here, I looked her up and she's a fucking lawyer. The Clippian. They are a local paper from South Salem High School, and they've been doing amazing work covering the protests here. They said organizers, this was June 2nd, organizers are distributing a list of demands and contact information for elected officials, Kate Brown, Jeff Merkley, Ron Wyden, Rep Schrader, and others. I can tell you right now, none of them are really going to give a real shit except Jeff Merkley. Maybe Ron Wyden, I'm not sure, but Jeff Merkley, he's actually progressive, trying to fight the good fight, it seems like. He doesn't fully call out stuff like I wish he would, but out of everybody in Congress, he's one of the more progressive ones. Rep Schrader's a piece of shit. Watch any of my later video or my earlier videos. He sucks. He's the fucking worst. So here are the demands. Immediate cessation of violent, a violent state-sanctioned action towards non-violent Americans exercising their rights to assemble and speak. A divestment from funding for surveillance, prisons, exploitative corporations, punitive justice, and militarization of police forces. An investment into long-term safety solutions, including, but not limited to, increased spending on education in minority communities, a focus on local restorative justice services, employment services, universal health care, universal housing, and sociological training for all police officers. Number 4, amend 42 U.S.C. Section 1983 to repeal qualified immunity for police officers. They must be able to be held to account. Number 5, abolish gerrymandering and establish nationwide vote-by-mail systems. I don't think those demands are out of the question, do you guys? Because this is what's happening all across the country. Albert Lee for the People, who ran for Congress most recently in Oregon, says, and there's one last thing I forgot to mention, they're not rubber bullets, they're rubber-coated metal bullets. Cut them open, they're metal on the inside. He says, I'm showing you the clean ones, referring to this video. These are the clean ones. People have lost eyes. You can find these photos by the dozens. This is unacceptable. One more in LA. This guy says, cops shot me in the head at the LA protest with rubber bullets while my hands were up in the air. My brain is now bleeding and getting worse. Keep fighting. And Dallas, Texas, where a woman wasn't even protesting, just walking home with groceries. Don't be the gun stereotype, Texas. I'm begging you. Here's more. Unarmed teenager, shot in the head by sniper with a rubber bullet, causing traumatic brain injury. Look at all that fucking blood. That's a teenager practicing his First Amendment rights in the United States of America. Straight-on shots can be extremely harmful. Remember, this is not unlike the force of a regular bullet, so it's absolutely unacceptable to go for the head. Guess what Austin police do? Literally just for fun. Target practice. Not quite sure if there's no sound, but just shooting them just for the hell of it. There's tons of these all over. If you're only on Facebook, I suggest you go over to Twitter as well, because it's more real life than Facebook. Here's a video that I was sent by one of my friends, and it is disturbing as fuck. This is a black man holding a baby.
Dude got his baby with him, bro. Record this shit, he got his baby with him, bro. Record this shit, he got his baby with him, bro. They fucking with that man. Motherfucker ain't right, dog. Open the door, please. Man, we don't need them doing that. He got his baby.
What, he got a gun up? A taser?
Shoot that man, dog. He got a baby. He got a baby with him, bro. He got a baby with him, bro. Don't shoot that man. Hey, bro, you got a baby with him, bro. Hey, man, you let me off. You let me off. That man got his baby with him, bro. Man, on my mama, that ain't right. Hey, let him go, man. Hey, let him go, man. He got his son with him, bro. That ain't cool, man. He got his son with him, bro. Hey, bro, no, bro. He got his baby with him, bro. Let that motherfucker go, dog. That shit ain't cool, bro.
That shit lame as fuck. He got a whole
You
baby
lame
in
as
his
fuck
hand.
for that shit, Crip.
Pulled a taser out
On
of him.
Crips, cuz. Nigga, man, nigga a bitch, cuz. That's some bitch ass shit. Fuck County Brown.
Leave him alone.
Let him go, bro. Let him go.
Chokehold.
What you mean let the fucking baby go?
Man,
That's his baby.
bro.
Fuck you mean?
It's the
Man,
baby.
let that baby go.
The baby is crying. Let him go.
Hey, we need justice, dog. We need justice, bro.
Get off of that
Oh,
baby.
God, we need justice. Let
What the fuck? But the protesters are wrong, right? Footage of regime security footage. I'm sorry, I can't read this with it like that. I need to scoot it up. Footage of regime security forces savagely beating a peaceful U.S. protester behind a wall where nobody can see them. If you have a problem with protests, you've never stood for anything in your life, and you are self-righteous, and you are ignorant, and you are selfish, and you're a narcissistic fucking asshole who just has no fucking backbone or balls. This is police brutality happening every fucking day here. There's people in Iraq praying for us. This is, I went too far. This is in Gaza. Says a George Floyd mural in Gaza, Palestine, painted this morning. For us in the U.S. Ben Norton reports cops in California just shot and killed a kneeling unarmed 22-year-old Latino man named Sean Monterosa. He was on the ground kneeling. He did not have a gun, although the police falsely claimed otherwise at first. They shot him multiple times. Asheville police surround a medic station created by protesters as they stab water bottles with knives and tip over tables of medical supplies and food on June 2nd. Shit. What did I hit? Oh, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Don't believe me? There it is. Police shot protester, told crowd to bring him to them if they wanted medical attention, and then they shot the kids bringing the wounded over. These guys are terrorists. But it's the protesters, right? These cops are spitting on a protester. He's sitting down right there. You see him and then him. It's kind of shoddy footage, but watch. There's another one. Sick fucking pigs. Look at that. But it's the protesters, right? This man isn't a protester. He's just a guy in traffic with a pregnant girlfriend.
Are you? Shoot it! Fuck you! You shot a car with a pregnant woman in it! With fucking tear gas! Fuck you! I ain't going nowhere! Fucking bitches! Fuck, shoot it again! These fucking pregnant! Shoot it again! Are you?
Did he look like a threat? Did he look like a fucking threat? Or how about his pregnant girlfriend? They weren't even protesting. Primo Nutmeg retweeted, "This is what cops are doing. Check it out." Those recycle bins? Shit. Those recycle bins are full of bricks. Look. Look how heavy that shit is. Look at that. Setting them out. There's multiple videos of this kind of crap. They're setting bricks out all over the place to set people up so they will destroy shit. Or they're using them to destroy shit. But it's the protesters, right? This is what happened. Let me pause this really quick. Michael Tracy, he's a reporter. This is what happened to him. I believe it was yesterday. This is intense. He's press, mind you. That's him.
Press! Press! I'm press! I am press. Okay, I'm down. I'm down.
Throw him down. Step on him.
Okay.
Holds up his press pass.
I am press. Please.
And they just sprayed him in the fucking face with tear gas. Walking by. All these cops saw it. Nobody did anything. Where are the good cops in this situation? Huh? All the good cops are quitting right now. That's what's fucking happening.
I was just sprayed in the face with pepper spray.
He's still reporting from his video that he's holding. This is a bystander.
On the ground.
Get up. Get in your car.
I'm gonna get up, alright? I'm gonna get up.
That's fucking report, or that's press. I mean, what the hell? But it's the protesters, right? So I wrote this yesterday and I pissed some people off on Facebook with it, but I don't give a shit. They can fuck off. I wrote, if you're currently a centrist, it shows you've never taken a real stance for anything and your entitlement is showing. Lastly, I wanted to show you this. You guys have probably seen it already, but it warms my heart and also breaks it at the same time. And everybody needs to see it.
He did what? He did what? He did what?
Her daddy changed the world. So, it is not the fucking protesters. I don't know how to make that any clearer. And if you don't understand that, go to a protest. See it firsthand. See who the violence is coming from. Fuck the police. Fuck Salem PD. I don't care how many times they've helped me out. This is bullshit. This little girl doesn't have a fucking dad anymore. And she's not the only one. We're committing warfare on our citizens. Fuck the police. Medicare be with you.